Hello and welcome back to the Academy of the Magical Art. This is part 2 of our series on the signs of the Zodiac. Today we will be discussing Taurus, which is the second sign. Taurus begins late April, usually between the 19th and the 21st, and ends around May 20th or 21st. It is the fixed quality of the element of Earth, and its rulers are Venus and Earth. If you refer to the first video on Aries, we discuss in some detail the detriment, exaltation, and fall of a sign. And with Taurus, Taurus's detriment is Mars in ancient astrology, and Pluto in modern astrology. Exaltation is the moon, and it falls in Uranus. It was oftentimes known as the Bull of Heaven because it was the constellation through which the sun rises on the vernal equinox. Taurus represents strong-willed character, great perseverance and determination, and is oftentimes equated with the Egyptian cow goddess Hathor. Hathor being the goddess of beauty, love, and happiness. She represented all of the riches seen in cattle as the providers of nourishment. Taurus is all about reward. Taurus is that light at the end of the tunnel. We look at the active qualities of Aries, the drive to do. Taurus is the end result of the action. It is equated with physical pleasures, material goodness. So many people born under this sign with their sun in Taurus are very big on enjoying the physical pleasures of life, such as sensual touch. They're very tactile, and they really enjoy being surrounded by comforting things. You know, being that Taurus is equated with solidity and practicality, and with having high determination, very strong willpower. It is very difficult to push a Taurus. However, when they have a person or a cause that they believe in, somebody or something that they can place their heart into, they will loyally follow until they drop. Oftentimes they are pretty stable and balanced, very rooted in their beliefs, and prefer peace over war. It is better to be loved and comforted than fighting and creating unrest. Oftentimes they are pretty keen-witted. They like to be intelligent. However, they are apt to becoming fixed in their opinions and very stuck in what they believe, which can make it difficult to become depolarized and can make it difficult to be able to see multiple sides of a situation. Being that they are very faithful, they make very, very good friends and allies, and can even have a tendency to be prone to nesting and being a caregiving figure for many of those around them. They possess a great capacity for affection and are very oftentimes gentle and good-natured people. You know, as I said, Taurus is ruled by Venus, who as a celestial body or as a goddess figure didn't like to deny herself very many things that she wanted. Venus rules love and beauty and pleasure and growth, and that is much of what Taurus gravitates around. You know, being that Taurus is associated with the element of Earth, they're very down-to-earth, practical people, very rooted. This is fixed Earth, so they are very rooted in the element of Earth. So anything that you can correlate with that element, you can also, again, correlate to Taurus. So when we see a person with their moon sign in Taurus, they generally have pretty steady emotions, pretty even-keeled. The moon being the planet that rules our emotional bodies on a large part. They like to keep themselves calm, and they can have a tendency to have a very calming influence on people around them. There is a high need for both financial and domestic security. So there's a strong desire to surround oneself comforts that make this individual feel safe and secure. However, being that Tauruses, especially lunar Tauruses, do enjoy these possessions, they can have a tendency to have a cluttered home from acquiring so much. Having Mercury, our communicator, in Taurus, the communication style becomes very practical. The mind will ponder what is to be said, but once there is a commitment to a decision that has been carefully thought through, it will be followed through with determination. People who try to push Mercury and Taurus's decisions or actions will quickly find out that it's probably not a great idea once somebody triggers the Taurus temper. Although it doesn't happen frequently, it's intense and not too fun when it does happen. There will be a lot of aptitude towards financial success, a lot of what you would view as common sense in finances and business. However, there can be a tendency to be a bit shrewd and a bit of a penny pincher with financial decisions and negotiations. Venus in Taurus, again, Venus ruling Taurus. Person with Venus in Taurus will be very warm and loving, will be an affectionate partner, and what would be considered to be a true romantic. Love and commitment are very high on the priority list for these people. Faith, trust, and loyalty can really describe their relationships. They can have a tendency to have very long-lasting partnerships because of the way that they love. People with their Venus in Taurus will enjoy those comforts that were discussed earlier. Nice things, good gourmet food, beautiful homes, and these are really kind of vital to your mental and emotional well-being. That security is very, very important to have present in Venus Taurus's life. People with their Mars in Taurus have high determination, perseverance. Mars being the ruler of action is absolutely huge with these people. Perseverance is a very, very large aspect of these people and the way that they are made up. They don't generally think about giving up or throwing in the towel, but will truly see something through to its end. But again, this is where a lot of that stubbornness can come in, tendency to refuse to move or budge at all in a way that they haven't absolutely concurred with and decided upon. There can be a little bit of a tendency for OCD. Habits and rituals are a large player in these people's lives as well, and change is not usually taken well. So it's important to keep in mind that you have to move out of that box, because really change is very good for you, and it promotes growth for any person. People with their Jupiter in Taurus, this is huge for finance, because Jupiter is the great expander. So you'll see people that are financially lucky and have, again, what would be perceived by them as the common sense to really succeed in business and manage their money and financial matters in their life very well. These people will amass a considerable amount of assets, very often driving themselves to push and grow more and more and more with every step. The more education and knowledge obtained by these people, the more their success perpetuates. However, again, it can be difficult for these people to let go of what they have. So it's important to keep in mind that the energetic exchange is very important. You must push out to receive. You have to have an intake and an exhaust. And if the exhaust gets clogged, it's generally not a good thing over time. They might be prone to weight gain, because of the enjoyment for food, especially gourmet foods. People with their Saturn in Taurus. These are very practical people. They are action and consequence thinkers. They have a great deal of patience and a great deal of wit about them. So individuals with their Saturn and Taurus have great follow through. They have great perseverance. They're very, very hard workers and very career oriented. As these individuals grow and age, so will their ambition and their drive. Again, being that Taurus loves reward, monetary motivations are huge. So it is not difficult for these people to continue to work over the course of years, even if it means getting what they want. So having a Uranus in Taurus, Uranus ruling a lot of our friendships, a lot of our goals, can also tell us where we rebel against, what our quirks are, if you will. Knowing that the results that are being worked for are present and having a means to achieve them through the attainment of knowledge and through pondering through the different ideas is how these people will succeed. Again, you'll find a large resistance to change, which can oftentimes hold up the growth for the Taurus because, as I previously said, change is necessary for growth in many situations. So although you have this drive to work and this will to work, and the patience and perseverance necessary to succeed, having an inability to adapt and change can oftentimes be a huge wrench in the gears. Our Neptune and Taurus will have almost a sixth sense as to what they need to do. There will be a deeper understanding of a lot of different principles that help this Tauran individual to succeed on a much deeper level. So the basic principle of success, where it is necessary to allow your financial gains to be pushed back into the world and then circulate back towards you, is understood and not really difficult to do. You know, the Neptune Taurian is a lot more fluent. Neptune ruling the sea and water. Water itself is fluidity and change. The Neptune Taurian will likely be involved in a lot of humanitarian efforts to help the world around them as a whole. Charitable giving and really extending a good hand to those around them, either in your friends, family, city, state, or world, will be a desire for the individual with Neptune and Taurus. Having Pluto in Taurus amplifies the strong desire for material and financial security. This is something that would be very easy to achieve, but it's important to be a little bit more cautious with decisions and with whom individual places their trust. Again, Pluto moves very slowly around the sun and moves very slowly through the Zodiac. So an example of having Pluto in Taurus would be in 1852 to 1884, during the time of the Civil War, which was ultimately triggered by financial issues and economic status. So as you can really see, looking through a lot of these planets and how they move through Taurus, Taurus does deal a lot with the financial aspects of life. It deals a lot with physical securities and enjoying life and enjoying growth as that's progressing. I want to thank you again for joining with me today at the Academy of the Magical Art, and until next time, blessed be.